Hello? Hello and welcome to the 2017 KCC Commencement Ceremony. In just a few minutes, we will start the procession. Please take your seat now if you have not already done so. When the procession starts, we ask that you please stand to honor the graduates. Thank you.
stand for the National Anthem sung by KCC students, the Roulette family, Rich, Stacy, Emily, and Sarah. Gentlemen, please remove your hats and everyone remain standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Don Gentry, Klamath Tribe's chairman, will now give the invocation. Please remain standing.
It's an honor to be here to say this blessing. Please close your eyes and let's go before our Creator with this prayer. I want to pray a little bit in the Klamath language and translate and finish up in English. So thank you. Blai dauk mi not lam patisap mo sepkacha ditchwaitis sepkacha gal Satwalaneas. No playas at Nali dit soriwak mi diwak dwa hutno lobital. I pray good things for the students as they continue to move on, to pursue and work towards their dreams. Creator, this is a wonderful time of celebration, and I pray continued blessing on each and every one. Thank you for the hard work that they've done to be here. Thank you for all the support of the faculty and staff and the families. I know many of them they're thankful for everything that their family and friends have done to support them. And we thank you, Creator, and pray your continued blessing upon everything that we do here today, and continue to be with them. We pray this in Creator Son Jesus' name. Jetsma. Amen. It's all been said.
Amen. Thank you, Chairman Gentry. You may be seated. Thank you, Chairman Gentry. It is truly a privilege to welcome our graduates, their families, and friends to the 21st commencement ceremony at Klamath Community College. This past year has been a remarkable time for our students, faculty, and staff. A great deal of institutional energy, heart, and soul has been devoted to ensure the success of our next generation of students. So it is indeed a pleasure this afternoon to relax while we enjoy the success and moments of celebration for this graduating class. We thank you for joining us this afternoon as our guests as we honor and confer degrees on our 2017 class of graduates. We are pleased that our graduates made Klamath Community College their choice as their educational partner in pursuing their certificate or degree. We have shared in their pursuit to change their lives through higher education. Students, we have watched you struggle, grow, and develop. We are confident you will turn those struggles into upcoming strengths and assets. For many of you, your college experience has resulted in something much more than a degree. It's a chance for a new beginning and a pathway to approach opportunity and change. For others, their educational experiences have been a time for reflection, self-assurance, direction, and a vision for the future. This afternoon, we acknowledge the accomplishments of our graduates. So let me invite the families and friends of our graduates who are here this afternoon to express their pride and share the joy of the graduates' achievement by joining me in applauding the Klamath Community College class of 2017. All right, graduates, it's your turn. Please stand. Turn and face your parents, spouses and children, grandparents, aunts and uncles, family and friends. It's time for you to respond by showing your appreciation to those who have provided counsel, encouragement, support, and love, and likely weathered the storm as you strive to reach this important milestone. Give a robust cheer and a round of applause for your continued support. Applaud your parents. All right, please be seated. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to the Klamath Community College Board of Education. The legal authority of Klamath Community College is vested in the Board of Education. The board is comprised of a vital group of citizens from our community who are active in public service and who excel in their professional careers. The college depends on them for their financial and management expertise, for their leadership, community visibility, diverse opinions, and the strong reputations and voice they bring from the community. Our Board of Education also ensures that the college upholds the significant institutional core values and meets the educational needs of our community. Klamath Community College is fortunate to have this distinguished group of committed individuals who give so freely and unselfishly of their time and leadership. And it's through the board's authority that we grant our graduates their degrees this afternoon. As I call your names, board members, please stand and remain standing, and please hold your applause, audience, until all have been recognized. The Vice Chair of the Board, Mr. Austin Folnegi, Mr. Michael Fitzgerald, Mrs. Barbara Heaton, Mr. Al King, Mrs. Kathy King. Please join me in thanking the Klamath Community College Board of Education. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce and thank the executive leadership of the college. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing, and please hold your applause until all have been recognized. Ms. Allison Bryson, Vice President of Administrative Services. Ms. Jamie Jennings, Vice President of Academic Affairs. Ms. Julie Marie Jensen, Vice President of Enrollment and External Affairs. Dr. Anthony Rosiles, Vice President of Student and Personnel Services. Please join me in thanking the Klamath Community College cabinet members. The faculty and staff at Klamath Community College play a preeminent role in the success of our graduates. All of the responsibilities, whether teaching or administrative, are definitely labors of love. And their commitment to our students and to enhancing our college's programs and image is beyond question. The Klamath Community College faculty and staff provide endless service and learning opportunities that assist our students in their collegiate journey, guiding, mentoring, encouraging, and often serving as surrogate parent or friend. For their outreach, care, and tireless efforts, we are appreciative and infinitely grateful. The Klamath Community College faculty, please stand. Graduates, please join me in adding your applause as we thank the dedicated faculty who have served and guided you at Klamath Community College. Thank you, faculty. And now it's my pleasure to recognize the members of the Associated Students of Klamath Community College. If you serve as a member of ASKCC this year and are our graduating student, please stand. Not yet, not yet. Student voice is an integral part of any college campus, and these students have done a marvelous job of representing their peers as part of student government. Thank you for your service and congratulations. I also want to take a moment and thank the graduating committee who works the entire year planning the commencement program. The committee is made up of staff and many volunteers. They deserve special recognition for a job well done. The committee consists of Shannon Childs, and I know they're all over the place, still working, Christy English, Mike Homfeld, Lacey Gerald, Andrew Merriman, Dana Myers, M. Shabir, Chris Tickles, Elizabeth Stiller, and Dr. Elizabeth Whitehurst. Please help me by thanking them with an applause. Approximately 2 years ago, KCC started 3 new academic programs. They were Culinary Pathway Certificate, Emergency Medical Technician Certificate, and Computer Engineering Technology degree. I'm so pleased to announce that we have the first graduates of those 3 programs. Culinary Certificate graduates Jacob Hunter, Miranda Mitchell, and Alyssa Otis, please stand. Congratulations, the first graduates. EMT Certificate graduates, Crystal Alexander and Allison Wilhite, please stand. All right. Computer Engineering Technology degree graduate, Jacob Coker, Jonathan Rhodes, Alex Roadman, and William Hott, please stand. All right. Before I introduce our commencement speaker, I want to share a quick short story. A community member not too long ago reminded me of our economic development past woes. Students dropping out of high school and college, high crime, unplanned teenage pregnancies. He went on and on. This person seemed to be stuck in our past. Told them what we are currently doing to bring about change, and that's our present. More high school students are going to college. More KCC students are academically prepared than ever before. We have a record now. We are engaging our community through the Klamath Promise Initiative. We are well on our way to the creation of a college-going culture. Our major construction here at KCC is an outcome of the beginnings of a college-going culture. But today, I really want to focus on our upcoming community future. A future that envisions K-12 partners, KCC, OIT, and other higher ed entities working together to provide seamless transfer and cutting-edge technology programs. Because of that, every high school student and community member has access to higher education. Because of that, we have created a college-going culture. These initiatives built upon one another, and that is how momentum is created. Because of a college-going culture, our population has the highest degree attainment in the state of Oregon. Because of that, we have attracted companies that pay strong middle-class salaries. Because of that, poverty, crime, unemployment, unplanned teenage pregnancies is the lowest in Oregon. Because of that, we have a vibrant downtown. Most of our historic buildings have been remodeled, condos on the top floor, business on the street level. Current downtown saying is, live, work, and play in downtown Klamath Falls. No, I'm a realist. This is not a pipe dream, nor wishful thinking. Research indicates, and our commencement speaker is going to talk a little bit about that today here in a little bit, that if we do the things we are currently doing, the things that I've described are definitely in our future. So graduates, next time someone reminds you of our past economic development woes, remind them of our upcoming future. Thank you. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our upcoming speaker. Klamath Community College is excited to welcome the 2017 Commencement keynote speaker, Joe Max Higgins, an economic developer known for his bulldog approach to stimulating business and building new economies. He is considered the top economic development expert in the United States, and he can back it up with successes. In 2016, Higgins was featured on CBS News' 60-minute segment focusing on his recovery of the Golden Triangle, a poverty-stricken region northeast Mississippi, in his aggressive and forward-thinking method of economic development. Through the 90s, the economy of the Golden Triangle, consisting of 3 cities, Columbus, Starkville, and West Point, was shored up by factories that provided low-skilled, work-producing goods like toys, textiles, and tubing, according to the Mississippi-based newspaper, the Meriden Star. The local economy started to nosedive as factories began shutting their doors during the Great Recession. Unemployment in the Golden Triangle hit as high as 20%, the Star reported. Since starting work in the Golden Triangle in 2003, Higgins has used infrastructure, grants, tax breaks, and other financial incentives of about $100 million to attract $5.9 billion, yes, that's with a B, billion, in private investment, helping create more than 6,000 advanced manufacturing jobs. You need to underline the word advanced manufacturing jobs. This is robotics, computer science, and so on. It's not the old manufacturing jobs. In 2015, Higgins was named Mega Developer of the Year by Tennessee Valley Authority. He was also named the 2016 Person of the Year by the Mississippi Business Journal. Higgins is a graduate of Arkansas State University with a Bachelor's of Arts in Geography, the Institute of Organizational Management at the University of Notre Dame, the Community Development Institute at the University of Central Arkansas. He's been married for 28 years to his wife Tammy, and has a 22-year-old daughter named Hannah. He is known for his motto, 2 equals last. And I believe that's on his license plate. Now it's my pleasure to introduce KCC's 2017 commencement speaker, Joe Max Higgins.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. I want to thank you and your school and your community for welcoming me with open arms these last couple of days. I've really enjoyed being in your region. I've really enjoyed sharing stories with your leadership. And I will tell you this, your future is bright here in Klamath. Just reach out and grab it. Just reach out and grab it. Don't wait for it to come to you. When it gets close, grab it. I want to tell you this. I'm probably the most unlikely commencement speaker ever at a college graduation. Okay? You see, I took a different, why, I'm going to tell you. Okay? I took a different path to get here. My first 2 years in college, I didn't miss a party. But I didn't go to class very much either. After that second year, I went home. Back then, kids, they mailed the grades to your parents. My dad was waiting for me when I walked in the kitchen, and he set me down on the sofa, and he put his arm around me, and he said, "Son, college ain't for everybody. You need to get out and get a job." So I did. And I went offshore and I worked for Mobil Oil for about 2 years. And I started looking around and I said, you know, partying was fun. Never missing one was good. But it's time at some point in your life that you need to grow up. And so I did. And I went back to school and I finished. And I guess the proof is in the pudding. I'm here today. I'm sure each and every one of you, and I'm going to talk to you students, not so much your parents, okay? I'm sure each and every one of you has been getting good advice from the people that are around you. Your friends, your older siblings, your parents, and let's don't forget your grandparents. You need to do this. You need to do this. Don't forget about this. Any of you getting any advice? Okay? I think some of that would be classified as good advice. Well, here's what I know. Lessons can't be told. Lessons have to be learned. Sometimes you got to try it yourself just to find out if it's right or you can do it. I can tell you all day long, but you have to try it yourself. And I'm going to give you an example. When I was 12 years old, I was at my grandfather's house. He was my best friend. My cousin's the same age was there. We were out with him looking at some cows. He put up an electric fence. Y'all probably don't even know what that is. To keep the cows in this temporary field. And when he went in the house, he said, now whatever you boys do, don't you pee on that fence. Well, we were 12. And we talked about it for about a good hour. Who would and who wouldn't and why one should or shouldn't. And as luck would have it, I was the one that took the dare, drew the draw, whatever. And I did it. You know, him telling me not to pee on that fence just wasn't the same lesson that me peeing on that fence was. Okay? So I want you to remember that. Sometimes your parents are going to give you good advice, but I know sometimes you're just going to have to learn it yourself. Now, hopefully, I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 more thought-provoking things to think about. I thought coming over here on the trip, I said, most people don't remember their commencement speaker. Most commencement speakers don't tell anything earth-shattering that'll change people's lives. So hopefully, I'm just going to give you some good sound advice, kind of like maybe your parents or your grandparents, and hopefully some of it will soak in. And if it doesn't, hey, I've had fun while I'm here. Okay? I want to tell you what you need to get moving forward. Hard stuff is hard. Hard things are hard. That's why they call them hard things. Don't make easy things hard. You know, sometimes we sit and we talk, and the example I give with some of my leadership is, you know, if we're building a fence, I've got some people who say, well, is it going to be a wood fence? Is it going to be a steel fence? Is it going to be a barbed wire fence? If it's going to be barbed wire, is it going to be 3, 4, or 5 strands? Are we going to set the posts in dirt, or are we going to set them in concrete? They spend all of their time, effort, and energy figuring out what they're going to do. You know, sometimes it's just better if I say, you go get the concrete, you go get the post, you go get the wire, you go line it out, everybody needs to show up here at 10 o'clock, and we're building a fence. Okay? Now, that doesn't always work for everything, but remember this. The hard things are hard. Don't make the easy things hard. The other thing that I want to tell you, and this is a philosophy that I got from Teddy Bruschi. He was a middle linebacker for the New England Patriots. He had a motto called full tilt, full time. And what I'm going to tell you here is, he would say, don't take plays off. I'm going to translate that and say, be the best at what you do, not some days, but every day. Show up, be the best at what, I don't care what practice, what discipline, what field you've gotten in, do the best you can do every day. Don't work hard sometimes, work hard all the time. My daughter graduated this spring. I told her, yeah, thank you, Lord. Yeah, I got a raise, okay? Here's what I told her. I said, Hannah, if you'll go out in the world and give just a pretty good effort, you'll separate yourself from the pack. If you go out and really give an extraordinary effort, you'll be at the front of the pack. And that's what I hope each and every one of you will do. The next point I want to tell you is, simple things executed well are virtually unstoppable. Y'all are not old enough to remember the Washington Redskins of old, but they had a team that won the Super Bowl and won conference championships, and they had a team of literally all-stars. But the thing that made them the most successful is they mastered a play called the counter tray. And it was pretty simple. The quarterback would go under center, and for you younger generation, that's when the quarterback puts his hand under the center's butt. I know everybody used to the shotgun now, right? Okay? But the quarterback would go under center. The tight end would start on the left side. When he would go in cadence, the tight end would go from the left side to the right side. As soon as the tight end cleared, the quarterback would snap the ball and fake to the left, as the running back would fake to the left. At that time, both the guard and the tackle would pull. What you ended up with was a center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, a tight end, and a fat-ass fullback following them. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, they were unstoppable. So much so that they would tell the opposing team, we're going to run the counter tray. They could not stop them. That simple play that those people mastered and could do it in their sleep gave them success. And what else did it do? Well, if you could do that and master it, and they knew you were going to run it on 3rd, 2, or 3, sometimes you could drag the tight end across the middle. You could run the naked bootleg, or you could run the skinny post start, monk, and all pro on out at the split end. Okay? If you'll learn to execute these things very, very, very well, you will find that the world will open up to you and the opportunities will open up to you. Okay? We do that in economic development in the Golden Triangle. Okay? We've taken something that everybody thinks is real hard, and dumbed it down and made it simple. For us, we've decided that available product, meaning land and buildings, a ready skilled workforce, folks like you, the pipeline of that, the community mindset that we're committed to caring for our companies and caring for our people, those things that we're doing are leading to our success. They're absolutely transferable to you and your life and to your community. The next thing I want to tell you is, ain't none of you more important than all of you, okay? This is a team effort, guys. While we are individuals, and I know that, we win as a community, we lose as a community. You will win in your field that you go in. Undoubtedly, most of you will be on some type of a team. What I would challenge you and ask you to think about is what's more important to you. For me, winning one championship ring would be more important than getting 10 MVP trophies, okay? Because I know that when you put a team together and you win and you succeed, there's nothing more exhilarating than that. And when you go into your place of work to be on part of that team and make your company successful, that's really rewarding. The next thing I want you to think about is I want you to learn to flow chart in your mind. And I'm not sure we're teaching this at any level. I used to work for an engineering firm, and a guy that I worked for named Jerome Alford told me, he said, you got a flow chart in your mind. Don't go in with a preconceived notion of something's going to be a certain way, because it may not. What you need to do is be able to, in your mind, if this, then that, if this, then that. If not that, what about this, this, or this? The people that can flow chart in their mind are going to be people in demand in the future, okay? The other thing I want you to understand, and I don't care what field you're going in, this applies to all of you. Every day, decisions are made. Every day. We just don't know if those decisions are important until sometime in the future. Now, I understand if you have chicken McNuggets or a quarter pounder, that's not a real earth-changing decision, okay? But sometimes somebody's going to ask you for a decision, and sometimes you need to think about it because you might say yes or no, and you may come to regret that later on down the road. So decisions have consequences, and remember, every day they're made. Every day they're made, okay? Right now in economic development, the Achilles heels that every community has is in workforce. Having a skilled, trained workforce ready to do the job at hand, okay? And I don't care if that's in diesel mechanic, I don't care if that's in aerospace, I don't care if that's in healthcare, I don't care if that's in accounting, I don't care if it's a school teacher, I don't care what job, we're going to have trouble finding qualified, skilled, good workforce. The communities that can do that are the communities that will succeed. And all of you have taken a big step today, okay? And I'm not sure that you all understand how in demand you probably will be, okay? You see, it's a seller's market for labor right now, not a buyer's market. And what I'm going to ask each and every one of you to do is when you go to that job and you understand it's a seller's market, you're the seller, the company's the buyer, do the best you can do. Represent yourself, represent your school, represent your community. Don't be that guy or girl that everybody looks at and says, that's that player with that big contract that never made it. Be the one that gets there and outworks what they think you can do. I think it's very important. Now, I want to tell you, I would be remiss with closing here if I didn't brag on your community just a little bit. I've been here for 2 days. If I were home, I would be in 100-degree temperature with about 98% humidity. The mosquitoes would be eating our ass up, and everybody would be saying, hurry up and shut up, okay? This is, the chairman said it in his prayer, talking about our maker. Our maker did a fabulous job with the geography here. I think the school's done a fabulous job with the physical plants here. I hope each and every one of you will come back and support your school. And I hadn't heard him use the phrase, but this college-going culture, I think we need to pick that up, and I think we need to do more of that, and I think we need to get more people skilled. And I want to tell you, when at my office today, or when I told them I was going to do this today, they said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to read Dr. Seuss, all the places they'll go. Everybody knows that, right? Well, I'm not going to. Except I'm going to read just a little bit of it, okay? I'm going to read an excerpt, and then I'll sit down and shut up. Dr. Seuss, all the places you'll go. Now, guys, I want y'all to think about this because I think they're talking about some people you either know or you've met before, okay? You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with great care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on a second. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Another round of applause for Joe Higgins, huh? Thank you, Joe Higgins, for your deep passion and insightfulness. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Anthony Rosiles, Vice President of Student and Personal Services, to recognize select graduating students and how they have succeeded.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. Now I have the distinct honor of continuing with the tradition to the Klamath Community College commencement ceremony. That is highlighting the journey of two of our graduating students. The two students highlighted today have been selected because of the significant obstacles they have overcome in earning their degrees. While these are only two stories, they represent the challenges that many of our students have faced and overcome in achieving the incredible accomplishment of college graduation. I am continually inspired by the stories of our students, and in this spirit, I would like to introduce you to two of them. Will the first student please stand? Marcos Ramirez. Marcos, go ahead and turn to face the audience as well. Marcos' story is one of challenge and perseverance. Marcos was a child of a single mother. His father was incarcerated for many years. As an older child without a strong role model, he found himself in trouble with gangs. He became a ward of the court. Marcos suffered from addiction and homelessness, yet he also had to support his brother, who returned from war with the emotional scars that many soldiers unfortunately face, and later his father, who came to live with him after incarceration. Marcos persevered and found purpose. Marcos continues to help his family while attending KCC full-time, and he graduates with an overall 3.673 GPA. Marcos has served as student government secretary at KCC this year, and he has advocated at the local, state, and federal levels for important causes. I can tell you he is a very good public speaker. I've got to work with him in a few times. He will attend the University of Oregon next fall, planning to enter a career of serving people in need, and I have no doubt that he will succeed. One of his instructors remarked that she had him in her CGS 100 class, his first term at KCC, and she could see a spark in him. He had a strong desire to change his path in life and make something of himself. He has worked very hard and is a kind and caring person. He is a true representation of success at KCC. Words of wisdom from Marcos that apply equally to all of us with all our degrees up here, as well as your fellow students. Take it one smile at a time. Congratulations, Marcos. I would now like to introduce to you the second student we will recognize this evening, Karina Lagunas Zarate. Karina, please turn to the audience and be recognized as well. In 2009, Karina's family moved to Klamath Falls from Mexico. Karina overcame several obstacles during her early education, not the least of which is her need to learn English while attending high school. Even with these challenges, Karina graduated as salutatorian of her class at Lost River High School. Remember, salutatorian means the student with the second highest of the GPAs at the high school. She has demonstrated true dedication and perseverance at KCC. She is graduating today with a GPA of 4.0. I would like to repeat that. Karina is graduating with a perfect academic record. Karina has enjoyed many classes here at KCC with writing, art, all of her science classes, especially anatomy, among her favorites. She is especially appreciative of Joe Cochran, who supported her both as advisor and a writing instructor. She also thanks her family for their continued support of her schooling. Karina's advice to students would be the same advice that contributed to her own success. Believe in yourself. Do not procrastinate. We all can be guilty of that. And be dedicated to who you want to be in your future. Karina plans to continue her success in the future by working hard and pursuing a career in nursing in order to give back to the community. Congratulations, Karina. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Jamie Jennings, Vice President of Academic Affairs, to present the employee who made a difference.
Thank you, Dr. Rosilis. That was a very inspirational stories you were telling us about our students. And when I look before me, I see amazing human potential. It's so exciting to look ahead at your future. It's my great privilege and honor to recognize a KCC employee who made a difference in the lives of our students. Some of our students have overcome many challenges to be here today. You never know what is going to make a difference in a student's life. What event or person may impact a student to change their life's path in a positive direction. This year's graduates were given the opportunity to nominate an employee to be recognized at the graduation ceremony for being a person who made a difference. All KCC employees can impact the lives of our students. So the nominee could be any employee at KCC, faculty, an advisor, a student success rep, a staff, an administrator, a financial aid rep, any employee. The employee being recognized for making a significant difference in the lives of a student today is faculty member Peggy Noble. Peggy, please stand. So Peggy received several nominations for this award, but I'd like to state in a student's words why she's worthy of this award. So the student's words. Ever since our first interaction in my CGS course here at Klamath Community College, Peggy Noble was very personable, encouraging, and supportive. She surprised me. Here I was, a non-traditional student with a rough past, trying to start my life over and achieve something from attending college. I was scared and faced with a ton of self-doubt. Peggy took an interest in me. She cares about her students, and it shows. She believes in them even when they may not believe in themselves. You see, I had gotten mixed into some trouble locally, and in a small community like this, Peggy had heard about my problems. She never judged me. She accepted me for who I am and who I wanted to become. A particular day stands out for me regarding Peggy. I remember one day while I was walking to class, my problems were weighing down on me. Peggy was arriving on campus. She saw me and stopped her vehicle. She rolled down her window, and with sincerity and caring, she asked if I was okay. I needed that support badly that day. That day was a turning point for me. From that point on, I felt I was accepted for all of my faults, and I wasn't judged, but I was well thought of. Peggy genuinely believed in me. Since my first term, she has been a wonderful instructor and become a good friend. She routinely asks about my life and gives me the highest compliments in regards to what I have achieved here at the college. She has inspired me to not give up, and because of her support, I haven't given up. I can and will be successful. I will graduate from KCC this spring, and I will transfer to a university this fall. Let's thank Peggy Noble for her support of students. Thank you, Peggy. So now it's my privilege and good fortune to celebrate student success and student achievement. Many of you worked very hard and very diligently and persistently. You're not just graduating today, you're graduating with honors, and we would like to recognize that. First, I would like to recognize all the students that are graduating today that are members of Phi Theta Kappa. To be a member of Phi Theta Kappa, you must have a grade point average of at least 3.5 and must adhere to the ethical standards of society. Will all the members of Phi Theta Kappa please stand up and be recognized? Thank you for your scholarship and leadership. You may be seated. Now I'd like to recognize students that are on the President's List. To be on the President's List, you need to have a 4.0 GPA to a 3.75 GPA. That's a lot of A's. If you are on the President's List, it should be on your card, please stand and be recognized for your achievement. Thank you. That's amazing. Please remain standing because you need to continue to be recognized. Thank you. Dean's List. If you qualify to be on the Dean's List, a student must have achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.5 to 3.74. If you're on the Dean's List, please stand and be recognized. Excellent. Honors List. To qualify to be on the Honors List, a student must have achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.25 to 3.49. If you are on the Honors List and have a cumulative GPA of 3.25 or higher, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing academic achievement. You'll go far in life by pushing your limits, pushing yourselves. You may be seated.
Now it's time for my favorite part of the program and also my favorite role as president, the conferring of degrees. Vice President Jennings, President of Academic Affairs, will now present the class of 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. Yes, it's your moment. Will all of you students seeking confirmation for your degrees and certificates, please stand and face the audience. Chair, members of the board, honored guests, family members who share with us in this event, I present to you the 2017 candidates for certificates and associate's degrees. Okay, the candidates may now be seated. So as is our tradition at KCC, the faculty will announce the candidates for awards and certificates. Professor Kathy Hewitt, please come forward to announce the first candidates.
Candidates in accounting, please come forward. Luis Salcedos, Associate of Applied Science in Accounting, Certificate of Business Administration, Business Management. Lacey Moss, Associate of Applied Science Accounting, Certificate Accounting. Tanya Miller, Certificate Associate of Applied Science Accounting, Certificate of Accounting. Christopher Molyneux, Associate of Applied Science Accounting, Certificate Accounting. Professor Keith Duran, please come forward to accept your candidates.
It's my favorite day of the whole year. Yeah, I know. So, receiving his Associate of Applied Science in Natural Resource Systems, Environmental Science, my friend, Carrie Howard. Congratulations. Thank you. Good job.
Leave it alone.
All right. Apparently he knows me a little too well. Receiving his Associate of Applied Science in Natural Resource Systems, Environmental Science, Raymond Leahy IV. Doing, man? Receiving his Associate of Applied Science in Agricultural Science, my friend, Daryl Millen. I'm very proud of you.
Good job.
Hand it to me upside down, man. I love this guy. He's always doing something. Receiving his Associate of Applied Science in Agricultural Sciences, my friend, Dakota Massey. Nervous?
Yeah.
Cool. I promise I'm not going to mess it up.
Oh, thanks, man.
Receiving his Associate of Applied Science in Agricultural Science, my friend, Jonathan Lopez Valdez. So really quickly, we've thanked everybody here tonight except for Dr. Gutierrez, and I would like to take just a second to recognize his leadership for this college. He's done some great stuff for us. Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. And now he's going to introduce our next speaker.
About 3 years ago, we started the OSU program, and we have several graduates. We're starting to be so normal that this is starting to be a habit. So Willie Riggs will talk about this. So thank you, Willie.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. President Gutierrez, the Board of Education, Administrative Cabinet, of course, the staff, the family, the friends, and all the guests. In 2013, we did something that nobody's ever done before, and that was work with Klamath Community College and Oregon State University to enter into a formal agreement that would allow students of KCC to have a continual path between an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree of science in agricultural sciences. This degree program, again, it's one of a kind, allows students the opportunity to remain in our community, where they live, where they work, where they raise their families, and that's just where they need to be. And yet they can still get their bachelor's degree of science. On behalf of Oregon State University, I thank all of you for allowing us tonight to recognize these students at the commencement ceremony. And it's our honor to recognize the following graduates who are going to receive their Bachelor of Science degrees in agriculture from Oregon State University. First off is Veronica Turner. Our second recipient receiving her Bachelor's of Science degree is Holly Decker. Holly, congratulations.
Good job. That's awesome. Let's get a picture.
Our third recipient, Esteban Paisano. Congratulations. And our last recipient, I don't believe she's here tonight, but it's Dominique Martinez Kirkpatrick will be the fourth candidate. Dr. Gutierrez, thank you for the opportunity to recognize our bachelor degrees.
Now I have one more honor tonight. I get to introduce my friend, the magnanimous Roman Rogers.
I'd like to welcome the candidates for automotive technologies. Michael Ruben Perez, Associates of Applied Science, Automotive Technologies. Stephen Gibbons, Associate Applied Science, Automotive Technologies, Career Pathway Certificate, Automotive Technical Electrical Electronic Specialist. Jose No Montes de Santiago, Associates of Applied Science, Automotive Technologies, Career Pathway Certificate, Automotive Technician, Electrical Electronic Specialist. William King, Associates of Applied Science, Automotive Technologies, Pathway Automotive Technologies, Electrical Electronic Specialist. Miguel Ramirez Navarro, Associates of Applied Science, Automotive Technologies. Timok Azamar, Associates of Applied Science and Automotive Technologies. And now I'd like to welcome my colleague, Linda Davenport.
It's my honor to ask the candidates for business administration degrees to please come forward.
Manuel.
Manuel Hernandez, known to most of us as Anthony, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Okay. Isabella Lopez, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Paris Price, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Ophelia Gomez Gonzalez, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Adriana Verduzco, Certificate, Business Administration, Marketing and Sales. Rachel Lim, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Derek Raleigh, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management.
Thanks.
Mike Powers, Senior, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Fawn Casper, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management. Olivia Tolbert, under the program lead of Kathy Saunders, Associate of Applied Science, Business Technology, Administrative Office Professional, and Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Robin Sunseth, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Jason Gregory, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Georgia Canfield, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Latasha Jackson, Associate of Applied Science. Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Certificate, Business Administration, Business Management. Felicia Morelos, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, Career Pathway Certificate, Business Administration, First Line Supervisor Fundamentals, and Career Pathway Certificate, Business Administration, Retail Management Statewide Certificate. Charles Wyckoff III, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, Business Management, and a Certificate in Accounting. I'd now like to invite my coworker, Professor Pete Bransness, to take the podium.
Candidates in computer engineering, please come forward. Okay. Jonathan Rhodes, Associate of Applied Science, Computer Engineering Technology, Career Pathway Certificate, Computer Support Technician. William Hout, Associate of Applied Science, Computer Engineering Technology. Alex Rotman, Associate of Applied Science, Computer Engineering Technology, Career Pathway Certificate, Computer Support Technician. Jacob Kohler, Associate of Applied Science, Computer Engineering Technology, Computer Pathway Certificate, Computer Support Technician. I'd like to welcome my colleague, Dennis Oden, Criminal Justice and Addiction Studies.
Put on my real eyes. Before I introduce everybody, I have the pleasure, since I've been here, to work in several different areas of the college, business and criminal justice and the agricultural with Keith. And I'm just really privileged, and I just see a lot of folks out here that have come through and are graduating, and I'm just really proud of you guys. I don't get to see you a lot, but I'm tickled. You call him Anthony? I call him Manny. Manny! All right. Would the candidates in criminal justice and addiction studies please come forward? How you doing, Peggy Sue? It just says Jimmy Lovett, but I know it's Jimmy Sue Lovett. Yeah, Associates of Applied Science, Criminal Justice, Certificate of Criminal Justice. Good job. Good to see you too. Shawnee May Alsobrook. Okay. Shawnee May Alsobrook, Associates of Applied Science, Criminal Justice, and Certificate of Criminal Justice. I've never seen a name that's got like 5 asterisks in it, so it's kind of like...
Because it's difficult to pronounce.
All right. Thank you. Good to see you. All right. And this one here is easy. Albert Big Paws Kress. Certificate of Addiction Studies. Congratulations, sir. All right. All right. Good to see you.
Congratulations. Well done.
All right, next I'd like to introduce Professor Chef Richard Vieira.
Will the candidates for Associates of Arts Food Service Management please come forward? I must say this because we burned a lot of pots together, and yeah, but I think now the proof is in the pudding and it should be pretty tasty. Alyssa Otis, Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Foods Service Management, Baking, Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Food Service Management, Culinary Production. Congratulations. Monica Goen, Associate of Applied Science, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management. I'm honored today for Monica because she started out in the program when I was teaching in California, and it goes back a long way, so she finally came around to say hello.
I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Becca, what can I say about you?
A lot. All bad things.
Rebecca Bowman, Associate of Applied Science, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management. If Rebecca could put anything with chocolate into it, that was her key signature. So pancakes with chocolate, chocolate, maple syrup, so on and so forth. Good.
Chocolate everything.
Yeah.
Along with chocolate. Chocolate is life.
Miranda Mitchell, Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management, Baking, Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management, Culinary Production. Miranda, what I can say is just, it's unbelievable. You started off slow in the corner, and then you blossomed into a real professional chef. Yeah. Jacob Hunter, Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management, Baking, Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management, Bartending, and Career Pathway Certificate, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management, Culinary Production. Great job. Great job. That's not you. No. Jennifer Boersma, Associate of Applied Science, Culinary Arts, Food Service Management. Jennifer, we're going to miss you. Okay. Oh. Thank you. Will the Honorable Jeff Rush please introduce your people?
Will the highly capable candidates for diesel technology please step forward? Carlisle, Associate of Applied Science, Diesel Technology. Daniel Lee, Associates of Applied Science, Diesel Technology, Career Pathways Certificate, Diesel Technician, Electrical, Electronic Specialist. Jacob Rice, Associate of Applied Science, Diesel Technology, Career Pathway Certificate, Diesel Technician, Electrical, Electronic Specialist. Anthony Fenters, Associates of Applied Science, Diesel Technology, Career Pathway Certificate, Diesel Technician, Electrical, Electronic Specialist. AJ Christian Fryermood, Associates of Applied Science, Diesel Technology, Career Pathway Certificate, Diesel Technician, Electrical, Electronic Specialist. This may be the only time I pronounce his name correctly. Fabian Barajas, Associate of Applied Science, Diesel Technology, Career Pathway Certificate, Diesel Technician, Electrical, Electronic Specialist. Please welcome my esteemed colleague, Peggy Noble.
Will the candidates in education with related emphasis please come forward? Trianne Coker, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Paraeducator, Certificate, Education, Paraeducator. Barbara Patterson, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Paraeducator, Certificate, Education, Paraeducator. Chrisley Souza, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Ian Grammer, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Teresa Nash, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Rebecca Miller, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate, Education, Early Childhood Education. Ashley Quisenberry, Certificate, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Kim Hess, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Mariela Lopez Valadez, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate Education, Early Childhood Educator, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Ellen Rhodes, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Education, Certificate Education, Early Childhood Educator. Jeannie Hosley, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate Education, Early Childhood Educator, Career Pathway Certificate, Early Childhood Education. Samantha Clark, Associate of Applied Science, Education, Early Childhood Educator, Certificate Education, Early Childhood Educator. And next, please welcome Casey Himes.
Will the candidates for the Emergency Medical Technician Certificate please come forward? Crystal Alexander, Certificate Health Service Emergency Medical Technician. Allison Wilhite, Certificate in Health Service Emergency Medical Technician. I would like to welcome Jennifer Briscoe.
Hello? Hey, where are you? Thank you. Come on up, girls, ladies, students. Candidates in the Health Information Management, please come forward. I don't ever follow the rules. Yesenia Gonzalez, Associate of Applied Science, Health Services, Health Information Management, and this week she passed a national exam for electronic health records. Next up is Carissa Morris, Associate of Applied Science, Health Service, Health Information Management, and she will be sitting for her exam in a couple weeks. Shaylee Totten, Associate of Applied Science, Health Service, Health Information Management, and she will be sitting for her exam this summer. She's talking. Next is Cheryl Hickle. Nurse Cheryl Hickle.
Candidates for the registered nursing, please come forward. Nicole Zerbrug.
I know, I don't know what that's all about.
Heather Allensworth.
Good job, Heather.
Thank you. Hannah Hubbard. Hillary Pike. Allison Botcher. You know you got it perfectly. Don't say it that way. Dekyma Reyes.
We're so glad you said it right.
Erin Street. And Brittany Kirk.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome up Maggie Wood.
Will the candidates for the degree of Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer, please come forward. Wallace Baker. Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these ones are...
Edward Jones. Alicia Wells, Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer.
Way to go, Alicia.
Madeline Haas, Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer.
Good job.
Cecilia Ramirez, Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer.
Good job, Cecilia.
Chauncey Hankins, Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer. Victor Rios, Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer. Kimberly Kroll, Associate of Arts, Oregon Transfer. And Kim told me that she also finished her bachelor's. Pamela Morrow, Associate of Arts, organ transfer. Zachary Paray, Associate of Arts, organ transfer. Bradley Love, Associate of Arts, organ transfer. Nicholas Fox, Associate of Arts, organ transfer. We're losing him. And now I would like to introduce my good friend and colleague, Dr. Jeannie LaHaye.
Will the candidates in the Associate of General Studies degree please come forward? Mark Shanklin, Associate of General Studies. Lil Mason, Associates of General Studies. I think I can do this. Tiffany Pachatko, Associates of General Studies, Certificate in Addiction Studies, Career Pathway Certificate in Addiction Studies. Jessica Fletcher, Associates of General Studies. Casey Hicks, Associates of General Studies, Certificate in Criminal Justice. Marcos Ramirez, Associates of General Studies, Career Pathway Certificate in Addiction Studies. Lynette Loradich, Associates of General Studies. Corey Ford, Associates of General Studies. Ariel Kaufman, Associates of General Studies. Excited? Oh, I'm cold. Are you cold? Jessica Phillips, Associates of General Studies.
Thank you.
Hope Coleman, Associates of General Studies. Certificate Business Administration, Business Management. Career Pathway Certificate, Business Administration, Retail Management. Alicia Kugler, Associates of General Studies. Rachel Duran, Associates of General Studies. Rebecca Fuller, Associates of General Studies. Candace Waddell Tramp, Associates of General Studies. Robin Russo, Associate of General Studies. And it's my pleasure to welcome Dodie Wilson. Candidates in the Associate of Science degree, please come forward. Jacqueline Ellis, Associate of Science. Mackenzie Folsom, Associate of Science. Shayla Engelbrett, Associate of Science. Lisette Navarro, Associate of Science. Bianca Dominguez Alonso, Associate of Science. Andrea Santillan, Associate of Science. Renee Haney, Associate of Science. Rachel Paul Wilson, Associate of Science. John Bodner, Associate of Science. Karina Lagunas Zarati, Associate of Science. Yareli Mario Zambrano, Associate of Science. Christian Hernandez, Associate of Science. Izzy Castro, Associate of Science. Serena Hagayeg, Associate of Science. I would like to invite Matt Walters to the stage.
The candidates for technical studies and welding come forward, please. I'd like to say a little bit about this next candidate. This will be classified as a non-traditional student, and I'd like to, with her help, we can hopefully change that in the future. She went through our welding program a number of years ago, went out into the field, worked in the industry as a welder, has come back to Klamath Falls, and finished her degree, has gotten her degree, and she currently works for KCC as adjunct faculty in welding. So, Tammy Chandler, Associate of Applied Science, Technical Studies, Career Pathway Certificate, TIG Aluminum Stainless, Flat Steel Welding, Associate in General Studies. Dylan Haskins, Certificate in Welding. I'd like just to say that Dylan's taken a job with a local contractor, and he'll be working on the structural steel in the renovation of Klamath Union High School. So, your tax dollars. Good job. I'd like to welcome my colleague, George Harpham.
Will the candidates in digital media design please come forward? Megan Baker, Associates of Applied Science, Digital Media Design, Certificate in Pathway, Digital Media Design, Multimedia Design, Certificate in Pathway, Digital Media Design, Web Design.
Good job, Megan.
Bradley Baker, Associates of Applied Science, Digital Media Design, Certificate in Pathway, Digital Media Design, Multimedia Design, Certificate and Pathway, Digital Media Design, Web Design. Alexander Catt, Associates of Applied Science, Digital Media Design, Certificate in Pathway, Digital Media Design, Multimedia Design, Certificate in Pathway, Digital Media Design, Web Design.
I know, right?
Excellent. On behalf of all of us graduates, we're really, really proud of you. Now, candidates, please rise. On behalf of the Board of Education of Klamath Community College, I declare the degrees and certificates of which you have completed duly conferred.
All right, graduates, we have one final requirement before we can officially say that you have graduated. This doesn't require any more tests, yay, any more lines, any more money, or even a trip to the campus. Yet it does require your listening skills and participation. Take your left hand and reach over to your tassel and move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side. You are now officially graduate of Klamath Community College. Congratulations. Okay, we're not quite done. Please sit down. Now, this is for members of the audience. As it is tradition here at KCC, in honor of you graduate, we ask that all guests in the audience please remain seated until all of the platform party, including the students and graduates, have left, at which time you may join them. Graduates, let me leave you with these words. Use intention to shape your future. Be focused. Let nothing break your spirit, and commit yourself to the full use of your potential. Congratulations to the graduates of 2017, and now declare the commencement of 2017 at a close. Thank you.